Welcome to my creek's first workshop. It's the Shiitake mushroom log workshop. Oh, they grow on all hardwoods, specifically oaks, hickories. I think they can grow on maples.
So they say. We tried it on maples, though.
They didn't work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different logs. They prefer 4 to 6 inch diameter tree branches versus the tree trunks. Apparently there's a lot more sap sugar in the branches.
We'll show you later that you can see the sapwood ring, and you can see it like compared to like the trunks, they'll have like a thin layer, and then the branches will have like 50% sapwood.
Yeah. So preferably, they also grow out of logs, but preferably they like the branchwood the best. You want to have fresh cut trees, number one, but you also after you cut the trees, you want to store them off the ground for 2 to 4 weeks, and then until all the antifungal.
Is it like the immune system of the tree until that breaks down?
It'll
take over.
And that's the perfect time to inoculate them.
If you wait too long, other stuff will take over the log.
Yeah, they say don't wait more than 6 months, and definitely store your logs off the ground because that's where they pick up all the different funguses and bacteria, fungi. There's not a lot of pests. Slugs can get in them, but slugs prefer a plate of beer over mushrooms. So if you ever have a slug problem, just stick a plate of beer out there and get your slugs drunk. But other than that, there's just a few squirrels like them. I think deer like them. Just certain beetles will take over your mushrooms if you don't harvest them after they fruit. So the way we inoculate these logs, the way we will inoculate them, we have these plugs here. They're basically wooden dowel rods. And they have the mycelia already in there. We bought them from fungi.com, which is the pulse
stamets.
Yeah. And so what we'll do is we'll drill rows of 5/16 holes in the logs, about 1.25 inches deep, and we'll stagger the rows. So we should have anywhere from 30 to 50 plugs in each log. The diameter of the log will determine how many rows that you put, how many rows of holes that you put in the log. A good rule of thumb is a 4-inch log gets 4 rows around the outside. 6-inch log would get 6 rows around the outside. So once we drill the holes, we'll hammer these dowels that are of mycelia, and then we'll seal it with food-grade wax, any wax will do, beeswax or soy wax. Some people use high-temperature cheese wax. The reason they do that is the high-temperature wax also sterilizes the hole at the same time when you're sealing it. We'll also seal the ends of the logs. All this will help retain moisture in the log, and it'll also protect against other competing fungus. After we inoculate the logs, then we want to incubate the logs for 6 to 18 months. And basically what all that means is we're going to stack them log cabin style in the shade. We want 80 to 90% shade. And you leave them there for 6 to 18 months. Once the white mycelia starts showing on the ends of the logs, then you know you're ready to fruit. If it's approximately 65% covered on the end of the log, then it's ready to fruit. If your log hasn't fruited yet, then we start to force fruit them, and all that means is we soak it in a tub of water for 24 hours. And
preferably cold water.
Yeah, preferably cold water. And also definitely spring water, well water, anything non-chlorinated. You don't want to use tap water because the chlorine messes with the mycelia.
I bet you can use it if you let it air out for a while.
And that's what they say. If you have to use tap water, you want to fill a bunch of buckets and let them sit overnight, or fill your bathtub, let it sit overnight, let that chlorine evaporate out of the water. And that'll work also. Within 2 weeks, you should start seeing little, I call them forget
Nothing.
what to call them. Yeah, they're basically baby mushrooms, and you'll see them start to poke out of the logs. Once you see that, then your mushrooms are going. It could take up to 3 weeks for the fruit to fully mature, but in our experience, within a week, they're usually full size.
It helps if you water them too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once they start to fruit, you do want to water them once or twice a day. You don't have to, but it's a good idea, especially if it's not raining and it's been really dry. And going back to watering, in the incubation period, if you're not getting rain every couple of weeks, you want to water them for 5 to 10 minutes every other week if you're not getting that same amount of rain. After you grow the mushrooms, it's time to pick them, of course. And there's definitely a premium time to harvest. It's before the mushroom flattens out completely, but after it breaks the skin around the base. I just want to say this workshop is sponsored by Kitty Kong. And thank you, Kitty. We couldn't do it without you.